Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. Delighted as always to be joined by Greg and Paul. We have just seen Oleksandr Usyk and Tyson Fury weigh in ahead of their big rematch happening tomorrow night in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Um, big weight difference, chaps, as we kind of were expecting. Usyk's coming at 226 pounds, Fury at 281. So both heavier than the first fight. But I think where to kind of start is um I think Fury's weight considerably was it things 19 pounds heavier than the first fight back in May. And the fact that kind of came in fully clothed, wearing kind of a big bulky leather jacket. I'll be interested to know how much that jacket weighs in itself. So we don't kind of know what his true weight is. But yeah, Paul, I'll go to your first. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, mate. I mean, we all knew. Well, I don't want to speak on your behalf, but I think the general consensus was we knew Fury was going to come in heavier. But 19 pounds is, that's obscene. That's almost a stone and a half. Um, like 20, touching 20 stone there. The heaviest that I say that I hear them say on commentary, the heaviest since he came the second. He's 4 pounds heavier than the Wilder rematch, and as heavy as he was when he was making those comeback fights, after that hiatus. So I mean, incredible. But I do agree with what you've said, mate. I think I know, a couple of other people said it on commentary as well. I think it's a matter of like you're obviously going to be heavier if you're weighing in any clothes, but like a big heavy jacket wouldn't surprise me if he had some stuff in the pockets. Not that that would drastically, I'm not saying he's going to have sitting having rocks or bricks in his pocket or anything like that. But I definitely do think, you know, surely he can't be 19 pounds heavier. I have no, I know that he definitely will be a little bit heavier. I was expecting that. Wasn't that much. And then obviously when you compare that to Usyk, what's 2.5, 3 pounds heavier, that's probably just the clothes with Usyk. So, you're saying bang on much of a muchness for Usyk, but Fury, there's a massive difference there. And yeah, alarm bells for me. I don't know if I think it's a good thing or not.
Yeah, it's a strange one, isn't it? I just think, look, those clothes Fury was wearing, those are probably I would say around £5 in themselves. So personally, I think you're looking at more like 276 if I was to kind of estimate, which is I would still say is heavier than people were expecting him to. But I think Fury, he's an unpredictable character, and I just do think I personally think it could be some last minute mind games. Greg, give us your. I know you like a weigh in, so give us your thoughts on what we've seen.
Yeah, thanks. Great to join you guys. To be honest, both of you guys have actually made the points that I wanted to make. Paul, don't put it past him to have hand weights in his pocket. It's that went through my mind. It really did. I think it was a weak attempt at mind games by Fury, trying to have as many clothes on so that he could make Usyk think he's really heavy. He's probably not going to be quick on his feet, etc. Um, it's interesting because, like you say, they had a few layers of clothes on each. I know, obviously, Usyk took one of the tops that he had on off, but something, I don't know how to say this without it sounding strange, but I think there should be rules in boxing where, yeah, everyone has to weigh in like looking the same because it gives you a fair reflection of what you're dealing with on the night. But very strange weigh-in, guys. I have to say, I don't really know what to make of it.
Yeah, it was when you compare it to the press conference that happened yesterday, where some people are talking about the longest face-off in history, whether it's boxing related or not, compared to today, where there wasn't much of a face-off at all. I think it's clear the fighters were told no, no trouble, no pushing and shoving, which mainly came from Fury's side yesterday. But it was just, yeah, it was maybe kind of low key, but there's still plenty to talk about. Greg, did you take anything else from it in regards to body language, how the teams looked? Do you think either fighter looked nervous? Obviously, this Fury Usyk thing, it's gone on for over a year now, where you consider the first fight taking place, the first fight being announced, the first fight being delayed towards to that cut that Fury got a week before the fight that was supposed to happen in February. Um, did you take anything else from it at all? Because the point I'm trying to make is that I just think both of these guys are probably sick of the sight of each other, and it's been
Yeah.
7 months since the first fight. I think both of them had plenty of time to digest things. What were your thoughts on everything that we saw?
The opposite yesterday, Elliot. I know some of the boys thought that Fury being vocal was a sign of weakness. I didn't really take it that much like that. he's unpredictable, isn't he? But I did take the way that he acted today as weakness. The very quick look away. It's the opposite mind games from what he played yesterday. He's normally very good at them, but if I'm being honest, I think with the greatest of respect, both of them are crazy, but Usyk's a different type of crazy. Usyk is, I just don't think he's scared of anyone. I don't think Tyson Fury necessarily is either, but I don't think Usyk gets overly deep about a fight. You look how many fights he's had in the amateurs, etc. Whereas I think that Tyson Fury knows that he's probably made his match and he's probably going to need a career best performance to win tomorrow night. And at what, 36 is he now or so? Can he do that? So yeah, I took it as a psychological advantage to Usyk today, Elliot.
I did want to ask you as well, Greg, what have you made of Tyson Fury's behavior this week in general? Obviously, media, open workout, whatever you want to call it, didn't do a workout and gave kind of a very blunt interview. Press conference, obviously didn't say too much and then had that long face off and then started mouthing off at the end of it. And then we've seen the weigh-in. In a kind of a summary of fight week events, what are your thoughts?
I'll be honest, Elliot, I think he's struggling a little bit. I don't want to say he's mentally unwell. I don't mean it like that. People can go through a dip and it doesn't mean that they're unwell, but I'm sure you guys have seen the Netflix series and things, and you can decide what's real and what's put on. But I watched bits of it, and I can see glimpses of that in his behaviour. He looks a bit down and
Mm,
maybe snapping yesterday. There was something to read into that. But what I also know about Tyson Fury, to keep it on a positive note, he can wake up tomorrow morning and be somebody else and say Rabbit's getting it. So, so yeah, it's bizarre his behaviour this week, but I do think he'll go in. I do think he'll find confidence tomorrow and really go and try and put on a performance.
yeah, no, fantastic. Paul, any other kind of thoughts? Any other thoughts from you just on Fury's behavior? I think for like Usyk, he's quite similar every kind of way in you get, you kind of know what you're going to see. Whereas with Fury, it's the opposite. You don't know what you're going to get. Any kind of thoughts on Fury's behavior today, Fury's behavior during fight week?
Yeah, just very erratic, isn't it? Really, with Fury, as you say, you kind of don't know what you're going to get with him. But where it's so his behavior is so erratic and up and down over the years that we're used to it now. So it's not a surprise. If this was the first time that we saw Fury being up and at it, calling him every name under the sun yesterday, and then just didn't want to be there today, it kind of looked like he didn't want to be at the weigh-in, obviously. And
Mm,
I do get it's just pre-fight. They're like, right, just get me in the ring right now. Like I do understand that, but when you compare that to Usyk, like Usyk's just a class act in every department, isn't he? Like
Yeah.
just the way his manner, the way he carries himself inside and outside of the ring. Yeah, I think there's a big difference between the two, and yeah, very erratic behavior, but not unusual for Fury, I don't think.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's interesting because at the same time we've seen lots of these fighters this week, but you don't see them during training camp. You don't know what sort of camps these guys have had. Fury, for all we know, he could be completely done. He could have had could have had an injury riddled training camp, but you don't know that when during kind of a weigh-in when he kind of doesn't take any clothes off during a public workout when he kind of doesn't do a public workout. It's very strange.
Elliot, can I quickly jump in and say something before we move on? Just Paul, I don't know what he said there, but it reminded me. See, if you're talking about mind games, what I'm thinking now is, see, with Usyk, you guys seen the banner that he came out with today? Was that maybe mind games that if Fury kicked off, that's going to be a really bad look while he's holding what would we call it, like a defence call to his country and calls for justice, etc. Can you imagine Fury kicking off when he held that in his hands? So
Yeah.
it's maybe just a small thing. It's maybe worth looking into as well.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think I agree with you. It would have been a terrible look if Fury had gone to headbutt him when Usyk's holding kind of a that banner that he had. So that's completely fair. And obviously, Usyk's using the platform he's got to spread a message, which is a good idea for him to do.
Yeah.
I just want to get some final thoughts, gents. In a minute or less, I want to know what both of you think's going to happen tomorrow. I know that we've done obviously lots of content around this fight, and this is the last piece, kind of pre-fight. But now that everything's done, we've had all the fight week events. We've had plenty of time. We had 7 months to think about it. So, in a minute or less, what's going to happen and how? Paul, I'll go to you first.
Yeah, I mean, as you'll know, I said in the group, during the week that I backed Usyk to win the first fight. I'm backing him again to win this fight, but I was almost slightly less confident, even though Usyk won the first fight, and I can't pinpoint my reasoning behind that. However, I was still going for Usyk. I think he'll stop Tyson Fury this week. I think I know you can't sit here and predict whether he's got old overnight, but I think Usyk, Fury, sorry, looks old in the face, a lot older in the face. Yes, I know it's the big beard, and obviously the beard makes you look older, but I mean, in the eyes and the cheeks, I think he looks like he's aged a lot more than the 7 months that we've had since the last fight. And I think that's going to play in Usyk's hands, and I believe Usyk will stop Fury around the mid rounds.
Fantastic, Greg. Or give us your final thoughts. Just over 24 hours to go.
Yeah, I picked Usyk in the first fight. It's very difficult with the personalities to predict a sure winner in this fight. I don't. The way people are so confident one way, I don't fully understand that. Although, back what you think. Um, I am going for Usyk again, but I think that Fury can hurt Usyk, and with him being a bit heavier, and if he goes in with mean intentions, it's a really good big man against a great littler man.
Yeah.
So I do fancy Usyk to win on points, but it'll be really interesting to see if Fury hurts him tomorrow.
Yeah, fantastic. I'll join you, gents. I won't fence it. I'm still going for Fury, but I'm not saying that with overwhelming amount of confidence. And I think it's difficult to have a lot of faith in him considering how the first fight went. And what he's been like this fight week, hasn't helped, but at the same time, maybe he's playing mind games with us. Who knows? Who knows? It's so hard to predict, but I'm going for a Fury win on points, and we will see what happens. We're nearly there, gents. Greg, Paul, good to be joined by both of you. We've just seen Oleksandr Usyk and Fury weigh in ahead of the big fight tomorrow night in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Thank you both very much for your time.
Thanks, mate.
All the best, mate.